Hey, it's Patrick, and I'm going to show you how to put Barkbuster handguards on your adventure touring bike. Now, we're using a Triumph Tiger 900 Rally, but this installation is going to be virtually the same for all adventure bikes. Now, if you do any type of off-road riding whatsoever, you need a set of aftermarket handguards like these Barkbusters, because generally the stock ones are plastic. The first time the bike hits the ground, you're probably going to end up with something like this, a broken lever. Now, the installation is pretty simple with hand tools, and all the tools we use today we're going to link down in the description below. First thing we have to do is go over to the bench and get some stuff assembled before we can get to the bike. So let's get to spinning wrenches. So there's a right and a left to almost all of these parts. The instructions do a good job of giving you a picture and showing you what's what and laying out the order and what's right and what's left. But we're going to show you exactly what goes where. As far as the bar itself, this little flipped up piece needs to be going up when you install it. So this would be our right hand side grip because this is going up. As for hardware out here, we have this little tapered Allen. We go to put that on the bike, that's going to go through there, and our spacer is going to go on here in between the end of the grip and the bar. Moving down to the inside, we have this little L bracket. You need to have the L bracket with the tapered piece going to the inside of the bike. Has a little panhead screw, goes through and attaches the L bracket. And don't tighten anything up yet. The next piece that attaches to the bar itself is actually marked with an R and an L for right and left. All you need to know is they stand up like this. The part that attaches to the bar should be the highest up in the air. There's a little Allen that's going to drop through and hold this on. And there's a nut that goes on the bottom, and that nut is a 10 millimeter. So a 10 millimeter wrench or ratchet will do the job. Again, don't tighten these up. We're going to keep them all loose. We're going to take this over to the bike and install it. We need to take the clamp off of the handlebar clamp. We're going to thread this in to the outside, thread our handlebar clamp back on, and we're just going to snug this stuff up because there's a sequence with torque specs that has to be done to tighten it all up. So we slip this onto the handlebar. Just make sure you're not putting any of your wires in a bind. Generally, you're going to go underneath there. The first thing we're going to thread in is the outside onto the handlebar end, and that's going to be a 4 millimeter Allen. Now we're going to put our handlebar clamp on, and that's going to be a 5 millimeter Allen. Onto the outside of the bracket, another 5 millimeter Allen, and we're just going to snug these up. So we have a sequence and a set of foot-pound measurements we need to tighten all this up. Once you have this set, what's going to protect your lever the best, this outside is going to be 15 foot-pounds. We're going to do it first. Then we're going to move down here to the piece that connects us to the bracket, and it's also 15 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to move to the handlebar clamp. That's going to be 8 foot-pounds. And lastly, the piece that connects those two together is again 8 foot-pounds, and you'll need a 10 millimeter wrench or socket to hold the bottom of that. So now we're going to put the handguard portion on. This little bumpy side goes up, the flat side goes down. It's worth mentioning you could put these on before you actually install the aluminum bar on the bike. I kind of like to put them on afterwards, but you can do it either way. On the inside, we're going to put a little piece of rubber tape in there. It's double-sided tape. You just line it up with the screw hole. After that, we're going to take this screw hole, line it up with a dimple on our bar, and this little black self-tapping screw goes in there. You're gonna have to use a little bit of muscle, go nice and slow, it'll tap its way in there. Once that's in there, you see our little plastic clamp here. That's going to go around the bar and secure this. Now on these carbon fiber ones, they have little standoffs in there where these go in. This little plastic piece clamps down on top. It's worth noting that these are pretty delicate, so you want to make sure your screws are lined up nice and straight before you put that plastic clamp all the way down. Now, like I said, I put these on the bar most of the time. This one, the angle is a little bit different, so you're probably gonna be better off doing this on the bench if you start to struggle. One thing I did to make it a little easier on myself is I loosened up the brake perch and pushed it up out of my way just a little bit. When I'm done tightening this up, I'll move it back down in position. Nice. So now we're going to repeat this same process over here on the left side. We need to go over to the bench, assemble our handguard, and for this one, we're going to put the guard on the bar on the bench, just to show you the other way. So we're going to take our little rubber piece with the sticky tape, pull it off, line up the holes. Now at this point, I'm gonna throw a little rag under here so we don't scratch the carbon fiber while we're trying to wrestle our self-tapper in. We'll put our self-tapper in the handguard hole. Now, we need to line up the little self-tapper with the little divot there. It's like a partial hole that you're gonna have to finish out. Once that is tight, we'll flip this over. We'll put our clamp on. Again, don't over torque these screws. It'll pull those little inserts right out of that carbon fiber. We're gonna go back over to the bike. We're gonna install our handguard. We're not gonna final torque everything. We're gonna get everything lined up, and then we're gonna torque it in the same series we did the right side. I'm gonna switch to the 5mm, and this will be another 15 foot-pounds. Now we move on to the handlebar clamp, and this will be 8 foot-pounds. For the last little elbow piece, we're gonna need our 10mm wrench. This will also be 8 foot-pounds. Finito. We're all wrapped up. Nice new protection for our handlebars. Now, this should probably only take you about 35, 45 minutes in your garage with minimal hand tools. If you have any more questions about these Barkbusters, go ahead and hit that info tab on your desktop or mobile device. That's going to take you to the product detail page where you can read other writers' reviews and more specs about these handguards. If you still have questions, reach out to our customer service team. They would love to talk to you about what works best for you, your motorcycle, and your budget. I am Patrick. Thank you for watching. Now go work on those motorcycles.